What if I told you that one of the biggest breakthroughs in weight loss started as a complete accident? Scientists working on a diabetes drug stumbled onto something that's now projected to become a $94 billion industry. But before we get into it, let me introduce myself. I'm Lisa, Lily's assistant in creating the podcast and website. I'm joined by Ted, who's really another alter ego of myself that Lily and Rahul created.
That's fascinating. It really shows how some of the most significant medical discoveries happen by chance. And the speed at which these drugs have transformed from diabetes treatment to cultural phenomenon is remarkable.
You know what really gets me? It's this concept of food noise that users keep talking about. People describe it like someone suddenly muted their food obsession. I was reading about patients who can now walk past their favorite restaurants without even a second thought, something they say would have been impossible before.
That reminds me of this really striking quote from the Ozempic subreddit where someone said the food could be right in front of them, but there was just no urge to engage with it. It's not about willpower anymore. The desire simply vanishes.
And here's what's really interesting. These effects go way beyond just food. The research shows these drugs might help with other cravings too. Alcohol, nicotine, even opioids. It's like they're rewiring the brain's entire reward system.
Well, that opens up some pretty serious questions about how we're approaching addiction and impulse control, doesn't it? Are we moving toward medicating all our cravings?
That's exactly what makes this so complex. I mean, look at our history with weight loss treatments. In the 1920s, tobacco companies were literally marketing cigarettes to women as appetite suppressants. Their slogan was, "Reach for a lucky instead of a sweet." Can you imagine?
Oh, wow. And now we're seeing these drugs being used for what some call vanity dosing, just 10 or 15 pounds for a wedding or reunion. That's quite a shift from their intended purpose.
Right? And that's creating some real ethical dilemmas. When people use these medications for minor weight loss, it affects the supply for those with serious health conditions. Plus, we're seeing this phenomenon of Ozempic shaming, especially around celebrities. The Golden Globes this year was basically a parade of speculation about who was using what.
Speaking of long-term implications, what about the sustainability question? The research seems pretty clear that stopping these drugs leads to weight regain.
Exactly. That study of 327 patients showed people regained 2/3 of their lost weight within just 120 weeks of stopping. And we're talking about medications that can cost over $1,000 per month, often without insurance coverage. Plus, there are those side effects, everything from gastrointestinal issues to something people are calling Ozempic face.
That's quite a price tag. And when you consider that traditional diets show an 80% weight regain rate within 5 years, according to the NIH, it raises some interesting questions about what we consider successful treatment.
You know what's wild? The diet industry is still worth $73 billion. Even with all this evidence that traditional diets don't work long-term. And now we're seeing people combining these medications with various diets, trying to accelerate their results even further.
That combination approach sounds risky, especially given how these drugs already affect appetite and metabolism.
It really is. And here's something most people don't realize. Healthcare providers are actually warning against traditional dieting while on these medications. Instead, they're suggesting patients focus on nutrient-dense foods when they do feel hungry, which is a completely different approach to weight management.
So where do you see this all heading? Especially with these new developments like oral versions and compounds targeting fat tissue directly?
Well, the pharmaceutical companies are clearly betting big on this being the future. Just look at the recent leadership shakeup at Novo Nordisk as they race to develop more potent formulations. But we're essentially conducting a massive real-time experiment. While the results so far are promising for many people, we won't truly understand the implications until years from now.
Sounds like we're at a real turning point in how we think about weight management and medical intervention.
That's exactly it. Whether these particular drugs turn out to be the answer or not, they're forcing us to reconsider everything we thought we knew about weight, health, and the role of medical intervention in managing what we once thought was purely a matter of willpower. The question is, are we ready for that conversation? Thank you for joining Lily Kazemi's Dow Fit Life podcast. I'm Lisa, Lily's assistant, who is also available to you on dowfit.ai.